Hey guys, back for another video. So this video is going to be about the show Polyamory Married and Dating in a review about the show season 2. So fair warning, spoiler alert. Anyway, so season 2 follows Megan, Jen, Micheal, Kamala. Not Megan, Jen. Uh, who's Megan? Megan's with someone else. So it follows Kamala, Micheal, Tahl, and Jennifer in their polypod and them having their adventures. And another triad, and this triad's named Chris, Leigh Ann, and Megan. Now I find the relationship between Chris, Leigh Ann, and Megan pretty good because spoiler alert, Leigh Ann ends up cheating on the two of them, on Chris and Megan. So that gets interesting. The show, gets really interesting when it talks about them. So the show starts off, of course, with Kamala, Tahl, Jen, and Micheal. And in this season, I like it because Tahl gets to explore his bisexual side or whatever. And he ends up hooking up with Michael's brother, who's gay or whatever. And I find Michael's brother so handsome, and I'm like, ew, like Michael is so ugly. like, why did Kamala fall for Michael? But I find it cute that Tahl had such a huge crush um, on freaking, Michael's brother. I forgot the name of his brother too, so bear with me. I like this season because it's a little more queer friendly, and also when it comes to queer sex and stuff, especially between men, people don't like to show that part, especially on live TV or whatever. People don't like to show two men like love and stuff. So I find it really cute that they had a chance, Tahl had a chance to, be with his lover and stuff. And in this season, Jen has another lover, and I forgot his name, but he is a younger guy, and the pod gets mad at him at Jen because they're kind of like in a monogamous ish relationship because he doesn't want to share. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry, I'm a little tired. He doesn't want to share. He doesn't want to, sleep with anybody else. Like, he's not polyamorous. He's monogamous. So the pod has a little problem with Jen dating somebody who's monogamous and doesn't want to be, because they throw a lot of sex parties and stuff like that, and he only plays with Jen. So they're like, oh, he should be, he should be incorporated into the pod more and this and this, and he's not really into that. He just wants to be with Jen, which I don't mind, and Jen doesn't mind it either. She's like, I don't mind it, like, and also like they get into an argument. Jen gets an argument with Tahl because she spends a little more time with her boyfriend, and Tahl's like, well, I'm your husband, like you should spend some time with me. And Jen didn't even know Tahl was feeling jealous because Jen said Tahl's always with all these lovers, with this lover, that lover, that lover, that lover. So Jen didn't even know Tahl was feeling jealous and stuff. So overall, I like season 2. I don't. So in the triad, there's Chris, Leigh Ann, and Megan, and I don't like Megan or Chris because Chris seems like he's a mixed martial arts guy, so he thinks he's badass, he thinks he's tough or whatever, and he has this arrogant air about him, like this, and he's from LA and stuff, so he has like this LA like arrogance about him, which I don't like. And then Megan, I feel like she only got into a relationship so she can be with Chris, and she didn't really, like, you can tell Megan isn't really queer. She's only there to be around Chris, and I think she wanted to steal Chris away from Leigh Ann. Like she don't even in the show, like Megan got angry when Leigh Ann and Chris were having a moment. They were in the bedroom having a three-way, and Leigh Ann and Chris were having like a husband-wife moment, and Megan got jealous about it, like got jealous over a husband and wife, being together, and they had an argument about it. And I didn't ever really like Megan. Like Megan just like a young, and they even were joking like, oh, remember when we got Megan, she was like so young and had braces, and I was like, okay. But yeah, they already like Megan already, when Leigh Ann like got caught, excuse me. Excuse me, when Megan got caught cheating, not Megan, but Leigh Ann got caught cheating on Chris and Megan. Megan made that an excuse, like, oh, I can't see her anymore. Like, I can't, like, when someone cheats on me, I can't even look at her face. Like, I can't do it. Da, 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 da. So I'm like, I never really liked Megan from the start. It seemed like she only was in that relationship to be with one person and not with everybody. But she tried to act like, she down for polyamory, but I really just think she only was in it in the situation just so she can be around Chris, not necessarily Leigh Ann. And I feel bad for Leigh Ann because they really was polyamorous, and they also had fell in love with, the boyfriend that they were seeing is also named Chris, and from Chicago. That's what they call him, Chicago Chris. So, and she really loved Chris because he gave her something that the two of them couldn't give them, because Megan would, kind of take away her husband from her, and she couldn't really get that love and that like sweetness that she wanted, that she gets out of the Chicago Chris. So yeah, I really felt for Leigh Ann, and they kicked her out the house and shit like that when they found out she was cheating and stuff. They kicked her ass out the house and stuff like that. A house that her and her husband built on her own. And then Megan was like, Leigh Ann has been with Chris for 10 plus years, whereas Megan only been around them for 3 or 4 years or whatever. So freaking, it's just ridiculous how, I think they've been together 5 years. I'm not certain. I gotta look it up, but it's not even that long. And you're gonna take Megan, who's only been in a relationship a little bit of time, over your own wife. Like, he didn't even want to work it out. And even Chris, like Chris kind of is even when she found out, like when he found out Leigh Ann was cheating, he's like, I beat his ass. Like, he doesn't even know me. Like, he uses his mixed martial arts as an intimidation factor, which, like, is so silly. Like, I hate when men do that. Like, I do martial arts too, and I don't be strong arming nobody. Like, just because I know martial arts doesn't mean, I'm better than anybody or stronger than anybody. No, that's not the point of martial arts. The point of martial arts is to have your mind, body, and soul in sync, and in tune, and it's also an outlet for you to get out, any anger or whatever. Like, you use martial arts to work through that. It's not something to use to threaten other people, which Chris seemed like the type to do. But anyway, I would recommend this season for anybody. Chris, Leigh Ann, and Megan, their polyamorous relationship isn't the best, isn't the healthiest, really. It's kind of like, really, they don't really have check-ins and talks and stuff like that, like Kamala and them do. Like, that's why I like Kamala and Tahl and Micheal and Jen, because they have these weekly check-ins, but they all check in with each other, see how they feeling, seeing how the other lovers are doing and stuff like that, like a more healthy, relationship type. But since they're all new, like since the triad's kind of newish to it, like they even said, like, we didn't even know what it was called, like we were just doing it without knowing what it was called. So yeah, I would recommend this season. polyamory is it's a fun relationship dynamic, but it takes a lot of work. And I like how in the show you can see how much work it takes. Like you can't just jump in to a relationship with two or three or five people and then expect it to just work. You have to be aware of everybody's feelings and how their mood is, and where they're at mentally and emotionally and stuff. You can't just throw it out to the dogs. You have to be emotionally mature and psychologically mature in order to get into a relationship style like this. And you can't, and the way like some people, for example, want to be in a poly relationship and only like one person, for example. Like some triads, like for example, like I've had a lot of folks come to me, especially women, come to me and be like, "Oh yeah, I would love to get in a relationship with you, but would you want to, do you mind my husband join and stuff like that?" And I hate that. It's like, no, I'm not into, and I make it known. It's like, no, I don't want any part to do with anyone's husband. Like a lot of people think, like, well, especially men, they think they can bombard their way into like a same-sex relationship when the other person doesn't like them, and then they get angry when the other person doesn't like them, and they expect you to just accept them in the relationship. And it's like, no, if you're not into it, then you're not into it. And I think like respect and honor and stuff goes out the window with some folks who are ignorant and once one track minded and stuff like that. And also a lot of people who are in polyamorous relationships, people expect like having sex all the time. That's not the case. Like sometimes it's you have it very little, and it's more about the relationship, not really the sexual part. So yeah, well, that's all I got for y'all. I hope you have a good day. Drink lots of water. Rate, comment, and subscribe if you like. This is how I do my videos. I'll just open up my camera and talk at the camera, and then that's how I do it. I'm not really into editing or anything like that, but maybe in the future, to make my videos like more appealing or prettier or whatever, maybe I'll put in a little bit of editing. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this type of style of this old school style of YouTube video. And I'll talk to you next video. Comment if you have any more ideas you'd like to hear about, or if you want me to rate any other shows. Again, I would rate Polyamory Married and Dating. I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10. It's pretty good. It's pretty good to play in the background too. It's a pretty good show. I hope that there are more like shows that come out like that. Like I wish there were more like queer centered like a show that have only queer people. That would be cool. Like I would watch a show or participate in a show like that, But anyway, I'll talk to you later. Take care. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. That's not saying much. All right.